Diamond P Sports presents championship drag racing from the National Hot Rod Association. The 1980 Springnationals. Brought to you by Goodyear Arriva, a steel-belted radial so new, even its footprint tells you it's different. And by Pioneer Car Stereo, the developers of Super Tuner technology for the best sound going. And by Suzuki Motorcycles. When it comes to all-around performance, nobody outperforms Suzuki. The heartland of America, Columbus, Ohio, and National Trail Raceway for the 16th annual running of the National Hot Rod Association Springnationals Drag Racing Championships, and the weekend packed with excitement. An incredibly fortunate driver, Tim Gross, hearing the cheers of the crowd as he walks away from the wreckage of one of the worst crashes in all of motorsports. A $40,000 funny car is a pile of junk. That's what happened to Tim Gross's Datsun 280Z bodied funny car as it slammed into both guardrails at National Trail Raceway during a qualifying attempt. The crew having to lift the remains of the chassis and engine. You notice the front wheels completely gone from the car. Tim Gross looking on, very fortunate to be able to even watch what's going on at this moment. Let's watch as Tim Gross, in slow motion, you see it here, losing control of the car, slams first into the guardrail. On the left side of the racetrack, the car almost turning over at that point, coming back down onto what remains of four wheels, heads directly across track and slams into the guardrail on the right-hand side. The body separates from the car, and now the slow, agonizing tumble with the driver inside the roll cage, down the guardrail again and again. Fire breaks out when the fuel tank explodes. Tim Gross, encased inside the car, is conscious. You can see him moving around. He starts reaching for the seatbelt release as crew members from the staging lanes begin their pursuit of this tumbling funny car, trying to offer some assistance. But is Tim Gross doing it himself as he reaches for the seatbelt release, gets the belts loose, gets his legs first out of the car. He then rolls out, hits the ground, and starts running.
Well, Tim, amazingly enough, other than a ripped fire suit and a little spot on your finger, you look hale and hearty.
I feel fine. A little bit sore, but a little disappointed more than anything, I would suppose.
Well, I've seldom seen a driver. I've never seen a driver take that kind of a pounding in a funny car and come out as well as you have.
Well, I don't know if that deserves an award or not, but I would say that I could see that I was definitely in trouble. The throttle was stuck. I attempted to lift up the throttle, and when it came around, I knew I was going to hit the guardrail, so I just tucked myself in as best as I could and tried to ride it out.
When you saw the fire, obviously, to get out.
Well, right, the immediate thought, yeah. I really had no idea it was really that bad. In fact, to tell you the truth, I don't think I even felt the second impact. I was probably momentarily knocked out.
Well, just that you're standing here talking to me says a lot about the rules and the car builders.
Definitely for the safety, yeah, because really the whole back half of the car stayed completely intact. Those rear tires are definitely a cushion. Added security there, so as it rolled over and it was on the rail, with the way the rules are set up, of course, I was completely covered.
It's a very lucky Tim Gross to be able to talk with Steve Evans. Hello, everybody. I'm Dave McClelland, and we'll be back in a moment. Back at National Trail Raceway, every major championship drag racing event like this Spring Nationals is full of excitement and dramatic stories. This one centers around A man that's high in the points chase, Jeb Allen, already won the Gator Nationals this season. Here in round number 1 racing, Jeb in the near lane is against Larry Brown. The crew on the starting line spots something wrong with the motor. Competition director Steve Gibbs looks it over and gives the word, shut it off. Jeb looks at Steve, looks back at the motor, looks back at Steve. Steve again says, shut it off, and Jeb says, oh no, something must be leaking. All the work, all the effort. He's out in round number 1. And this man, Larry Brown, had an easy run to go into round number 2 racing, where he'll be matched against Bob Noyes, the Californian driving for Jim Brissett. Big Daddy Don Garlits, 21 Top Fuel victories to his credit in his long career against the hometown favorite, Jake Coughlin, who has what must be motorsport's youngest pit crew. Shirley Muldowney, already a 2-time Top Fuel champion at the Spring Nationals, against her former crew chief, Connie Kalita. From Houston, Texas, comes Steve Stevens. He'll be racing against the current points leader in the World Championship Series chase, Gary Beck. In second round racing, it's Big Daddy Don Garlits. From his base in Sefner, Florida, Don has visited the winner's circle 21 times in a career that spans over 20 years behind the wheel of a Top Fuel dragster. The hometown favorite, Jake Coughlin, provided some of the drama of the 1979 Spring Nationals when Jake drove his Top Fuel car with no parachute open into the catch net at the end of the track. After this incident, Jake Coughlin said, I quit, I'm through, and sold all of the component pieces and the dragster. He came back, and Steve asked him why.
We thought about it for an awful long time after the crash, and we decided that I just can't play golf and tennis and all the other things that you're supposed to do. So I talked with the boys and my wife, and I said, well, what do you think? I'd like to go racing. Will you go with me? And they said, yep, and here we are.
And here he is with the unenviable task of meeting Big Daddy Don Garlits in the second round of this year's event. Both cars have completed their burnouts, concentrating on the starting line, and it is Garlits out first, wavering a little bit around his lane, and Garlits wins the race, 6.06 seconds, his speed over 245 miles an hour. Back at the starting line, it's the premier lady driver in all of motor racing, Shirley Muldowney, against her former crew chief, Connie Kalita. Back in 1977, when Shirley won her world championship title, it was this man, Connie Kalita, that was her crew chief. Connie said he wanted to get back into drag racing. He's a former national champion. He had been out of the sport a number of years. He wanted to get back into the cockpit, and he went Top Fuel racing. He went racing so well that this year he met Shirley in the finals of the Winter Nationals. Shirley winning the race. Connie wants to avenge that loss. Steve talked to him about racing Shirley.
You think you try harder sometimes against Shirley? I mean, maybe subconsciously a little more effort goes into racing Shirley Muldowney?
On the starting line, probably so. I mean, you know, out at Pomona, it showed it, and up at Bakersfield, the same kind of a thing. I put a maximum effort on the starting line driving because it's strong, and, you know, I feel that I can drive as good, or I think I can actually drive better than what she can.
We'll find out in just a moment as final preparations being made to Connie Kalita. Both drivers, the burnouts are completed, and it's all on the starting line. We'll see who has the best reactions. It looks like Shirley Muldowney beat Connie Kalita off the starting line. A puff of smoke out of Shirley's car, but she wins it going away. 6.02 seconds her elapsed time. And yes, Connie Kalita, you ran quicker, but Shirley got there first. 6 seconds flat for Connie Kalita. Both lanes are racetracks as far as timing. There you saw the puff of smoke, and Shirley with a big victory. Her crew very happy in the turnaround, and so is Shirley. In the turnaround area is Steve Evans. What are they saying?
You're excited.
Oh, we're happy. God was good to me, Steve.
Connie told me earlier that he thought he was a better driver than you are.
He's kidding himself. He learned a lot by working with me. And I don't know. He's a pretty good driver.
You really concentrated on the tree this one, didn't you?
I couldn't lose this one, you know. I'd never live it down, really. Go back to Mount Clemens, Michigan, they'd disown me.
Looks like some motor problems, though.
It was a head gasket. I felt it go away. Before I saw the lights coming, I just kept my foot in it.
Okay, you guys are anxious. We'll see you next round.
Back to the pits, Shirley Muldowney and her young crew. A lot of work to get them ready for the semifinals. As another pair of racers completing their burnouts. Larry Brown, he had the gift in round one when Jeb Allen was forced to shut off with an oil leak. Larry just taking over the driving chores of Mark Campbell's dragster. Mark from Columbus and Larry from Vandalia, Ohio. The big contingent of Ohio fans on hand, rooting for their hometown favorites. Bob Noyce, faced with not only a tough competitor, but also a very strong headwind that's blowing directly into the face of these drivers and these cars as they go through the 1,320 feet of racing surface. A good lead by both cars, and something goes wrong with Bob Noyce, and another easy go for Larry Brown, as elapsed time reflects it only 6.25 seconds. As we watch again, you'll see a bit of a hole shot for Larry Brown, and then a puff of smoke, the car making a violent move to the center line. Bob Noyce keeping it in his own lane. But that's the end of the day for the team of Brissett and Noyce, and into the semifinals goes the very happy crew from Ohio, Larry Brown and Mark Campbell and a whole bunch of people.
Okay, clutch.
Meanwhile, back on the track, the NHRA Safety Safari cleaning up the oil. A big emphasis on safety, and one of the most important items, that catch net that you saw Jake Coughlin hit earlier. Steve's going to tell us about it.
If your parachute fails to open at over 200 miles an hour, all the brakes in the world won't keep you out of Farmer Brown's front yard over here. The alternative is hit the bullseye on this aircraft carrier-style catch net, as Brian Raymer did it just perfectly. He didn't brake so hard that the car was bouncing. It came in flat on all fours right under the net, and he is still in competition. That's the way it's done down here at the far end.
Thank you, Steve. And back at the front end of the track, it is Steve Stevens from Houston, Texas. Mostly a weekend racer. Steve making some of the national events this season, and he's racing against Gary Beck, whose car is owned by Larry Miner. Larry, a prominent businessman and potato farmer in San Jacinto, California, is into other types of racing, drag boat racing, even airplane racing, but right now concentrating his sole efforts on this top fuel dragster that is currently leading the World Championship points chase. Off the starting line, Gary Beck with a bit of a bobble. That lets Steve Stevens pull ahead slightly, and at the finish line, it's an upset. Steve Stevens wins it, 6.19 seconds. His speed only 203 miles an hour. As we watch again, you see Beck losing traction and losing control momentarily, enough to let Steve Stevens pull ahead and win by less than a car length.
For a hobby racer from Houston, Texas, this has got to be really a thrill, downing Gary Beck and going to the semis.
It's great. We look like we got a little damage here. I hope we can get it fixed in time, because we sure did enjoy beating him, though. It's something to beat him.
You bet it is. I think this is as far as you've gone in national event competition.
Yes, we went second round several times, but as far as we went.
Okay, well, go get them. From
Thanks
Houston,
much.
Texas, the Quicksilver car and Steve Stevens. They're tickled.
And they've got work to do, Steve, as the oil at the back of the motor shows it. We'll be back at the Spring Nationals in just a moment.
See, we broke the chassis from before.
This is the Spring Nationals. I'm Dave McClelland along with Steve Evans, and this is one of the most popular cars in all of drag racing, a funny car. A 2,000 horsepower engine, the driver of utmost importance. In round number 2 racing, we'll be seeing Tom Hoover, driver of the Showtime Corvette. He'll be facing Rick Johnson, wheeling the car owned by Fred Castronova. Ed the Ace McCulloch of Sanger, California. Dale Paldy will be his competitor at the wheel of the War Eagle. The reigning world champion Raymond Beadle and the famed Blue Max against John Collins. Billy Meyer here with his lovely wife Deborah against the 4-time world champion Don the Snake Prudhomme. In round number 2 competition, it is Tom Hoover, the Corvette-bodied creation, against Rick Johnson. All eyes on the starting line. A great leave by both cars. Johnson drifting close to the center line. And a close race as Tom Hoover wins it. His elapsed time, 6.22 seconds. The losing time, 6.25 seconds. Only 0.03 of a second difference between the two cars. And the difference may be that Rick Johnson, drifting very close to the center line, may have had to lift. And here's Rick Johnson. He's not happy with himself. He's packing up his helmet, taking his fire suit off, and decides, why sit out here in the wind? Let's go back inside.